United States Army veteran George Retes is taking on the federal government. His name might sound familiar to you because he was one of the people that was illegally detained during a farm ice raid here in California. George Retes was driving to work on a cannabis farm when he was stopped by ICE. They were doing a big raid on this farm. He said, "I'm a United States citizen," and they did not care. They pepper sprayed him, they tear gassed him, they ripped him out of his car, threw him on the ground. Two officers put their knees on his back, and one officer put a knee on his neck. Now, he kept saying, "I'm a US citizen, I'm a US citizen." And not only is he a citizen, he is a United States Army vet. Anyways, they detained him. First, they put him at a Navy base, and then they moved him to a detention center in downtown Los Angeles. He says that he was denied phone calls to his family, he was denied phone calls to an attorney, and he was not allowed to take a shower or put on clean clothes after he'd been sprayed with pepper spray and tear gas. Do you think that sounds bad? Well, it gets worse. They even locked him up in isolation. He was held there for 3 days until he was finally released with no explanation, no apology, no nothing. Now, George Retes is seeking accountability through the Federal Tort Claims Act, a law that allows citizens to sue the federal government when harmed by its employees. In a statement, George Retes said, "I'm calling out the federal government, not just for what they did to me, but for what they're doing to others. I am continuing to fight for this country, but now I'm doing it as a civilian." The attorney for George Retes, Anya Bidwell, said, "Without accountability for these actions, the relationship between citizens and their government remains broken. George is doing his part to repair that relationship, just as he did when he served his country in Iraq." Now, these farm raids were like a big, big deal here in California. Not only did they detain George Retes, they detained hundreds of farm workers, and one of the farm workers actually lost his life when he fell off the top of a greenhouse building. George Retes also said, "This is about holding the government accountable. I served this country, and now I want it to do right by me." What do you guys think? Do you think this is not the end of these lawsuits? That this is just the beginning? I'm Team George. How about you?